Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss energy levels and the bands in semiconductors. In previous lecture we have discussed the bonding forces in solids. As you know, there are the four types of bonding forces in solids: ionic bond, covalent bond, metallic bond, and the mixed bond. And in earlier lectures, we have also derived the energy of electron in hydrogen atoms. Now, in today's lecture, we will discuss about the energy levels in semiconductors and how the energy bands are formed in semiconductors. Now, before going to study the concept of the energy band formation in semiconductors, let us understand the concept of energy levels in semiconductor. So what is that energy levels in semiconductors? So as you know, the energy of electron is proportional to the size of the orbit, that is the energy of the electron in the lower orbit is less than the higher orbit. Thus, specifying the radius of an orbit of the electron is equivalent to specifying its energy level. So, electrons in the smallest or innermost orbit are in the first energy level, while the electrons in the next higher orbit, that is second orbit, belongs to the second energy level, which is higher. The next orbit corresponds to the next energy level, which is still higher, and so on for higher orbits and energy levels. This is because there is an attractive interaction between the nucleus and the electrons. An isolated atom has electrons whose energy level depends upon the interaction between the electrons and the nucleus to which these electrons are attached. These energy levels looks like lines drawn on an energy axis corresponding to the different orbits. Then what happens when there are large number of atoms instead of just a single atom as in a crystal? Now the electrons in a particular atom are influenced by multitude of other atoms in the neighborhood of the original atom. Thus, each electron is governed by a different value of energy as their charge environments are different from each other. In other words, instead of single line on the energy axis in an energy level diagram, there are large number of different lines and quite close to each other. Thus, the energy level of a single atom keeps on splitting to multiple values with successive addition of atoms. So very large number of atoms as found in a semiconductor crystal, for example, the bands of energy levels appear instead of single lines of energy levels. And these are known as energy bands. It is obvious that electrons in the first energy level of their respective atoms gives rise to an energy band appropriate for the first energy level of each electron, which corresponds to the smallest orbit. The next band forms at a higher energy level corresponding to next higher orbit and so on. Now let us discuss how the energy band formation in the semiconductors. Let the example of silicon. Before discussing the energy bands, particularly in silicon, let us understand the concept of orbital. In atomic theory, an atomic orbital is a mathematical function describing the location and wave-like behavior of an electron in an atom. This function can be used to calculate the probability of finding an electron of an atom in any specific region around the atom's nucleus. And isolated atoms are brought together to form a solid. The forces of attraction and repulsion between atoms balance proper interatomic spacing for the crystal. In this process, important changes occurs in the electron energy level configuration, and this changes the electrical property of solids. Fundamental particles in the nature have either integer spin called as bosons or half integer spin known as fermions. The quantum mechanical wave functions of the electron has spatial part and a spin dependent part. Electron wave functions of multi-electron system must be antisymmetric. When the orbital part is symmetric, the electron spins must be antiparallel and vice versa. Hence, the two electrons in the bonding orbital have opposite spins, while those in antibonding states have parallel spins. This follows the Pauli's-Exclusive principle. The two electrons in a quantum states must have opposite spins. Parallel spin electron quantum mechanically repel each other. To determine the energy levels of the bonding and antibonding states in the region between the two nuclei, the Coulombic potential energy is lowered compared to isolated atoms because an electron in this region would be attracted by two nuclei rather than just one. For the bonding state, the electron probability density is higher in this region of lower potential energy than for antibonding state. As a result, the original isolated atomic energy level would be split into two, a lower bonding energy level and higher antibonding level. For even smaller interatomic spacings, the energy of the crystal goes up because of repulsion between nuclei and other electronic interactions. The number of distinct linear combinations of atomic orbitals and the number of distinct energy levels depends on the number of atoms that are brought together. The lowest energy corresponds to the totally symmetric orbitals and highest corresponds to the totally antisymmetric case. And other combination leads to energy the in between the orbitals. Now let us consider the silicon, that is energy bands formation in silicon. Each isolated silicon atom has an electronic structure, that is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p2 in ground state. Each atom has available two 1s state, two 2s states, six 2p states and two 3s states and six 3p states and higher states. If you consider n atoms, there will be 2n, 2n, 6n, 2n and 6n states of type 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s and 3p respectively. As the interatomic spacing decreases, these energy levels split into bands, beginning with the outer cell n is equal to 3. As the 3s and 3p bands grow, they merge into a single band composed of mixture of energy levels, and these bands of 3s and 3p levels contains 8n available states. As the distance between atoms approaches the equilibrium interatomic spacing of silicon, this band splits into two bands separated by an energy gap Eg. The upper band, called conduction band, contains 4n states as like the lower band valence band. Thus, the silicon crystal has two bands of available energy levels separated by an energy gap Eg wide, which contains no allowed energy levels for electrons to occupy. This gap is called a forbidden band since it contains no electron energy states. The lower 1s band is filled with 2n electrons. 2s and 2p bands will have 2n and 6n electrons in them respectively. There were 4n electrons in the n is equal to 3 cells. These 4n electrons must occupy states in the valence band or the conduction band in a crystal. At 0 degree Kelvin, the electrons will occupy the lower energy states in the valence band. Thus, at 0 degree Kelvin, every state in the valence band will be filled, while the conduction band will be completely empty of electrons. So, the antibonding orbitals can interact to form an energy band called conduction band, and as I told, this will be completely empty. And a solid will be formed from a large number of these orbitals, and when the or bonding orbitals interact, they will form an energy band, and that is called valence band. And as you told, this valence band will be completely full. And as discussed, the band gap, that is the valence and conduction band in a semiconductor, is separated by the forbidden gap, energy gap, and this is called as band gap. So the what is the now again the valence band and conduction band, in short we can discuss here. It is the valence band is the energy band that comprises of valence electron present in the outermost shell of an atomic structure, and conduction band that consists of free electrons that are responsible for conduction. And when provided with sufficient energy, get changed into free electrons and moves to conduction band, thereby causing conductivity. And as discussed, the forbidden energy gap is the difference between valence band and conduction band, that is separation of this certain amount of energy. And this energy band gap is depends on the type of the material, that is insulator, semiconductor, and conductors. In conductors, the band gap is negligible, that is zero band gap. In insulators, band gap is high, and in semiconductors, the band gap is in between conductors and the insulators. So in figure, it is shown the band diagram, valence band and conduction band showing with energy gap. So let us summarize today's lecture. As we have discussed about the band gap, valence band and conduction band separation. And the band gap for insulator is nearly a 6 electron volt. For semiconductor, for example, germanium is 0.7 electron volt, and for silicon it is 1.1 electron volt, and for conductors the band gap is 0 electron volt. Students, this is all for today's lecture. In next lecture we will discuss about the Fermi energy level and the dependence of the position of Fermi energy level in semiconductors. Thank you.